The night he quit his job, the rain felt heavier than it ever had, as if the sky itself was questioning his choice. Water slid down the windows of the small rented house, blurring the streetlight outside, while inside a single dad sat at the kitchen table staring at a resignation email he had already sent, his hands shaking not from cold but from fear of what tomorrow would bring. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet miracles that arrive when life feels impossible, take a moment right now to like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to our channel, Grandma Dearie, because stories like this are reminders that hearts still matter. He had been a reliable employee for years, the kind who stayed late and never complained, but reliability did not pay daycare fees when his babysitter quit without notice, and it did not tuck his little daughter into bed when she cried for her mother who would never come back. His life had narrowed into a tunnel of schedules, alarms, and silent sacrifices. Every morning he woke before dawn, packed lunches, braided small fingers into mittens, and raced against time. Every evening he returned exhausted, guilt clinging to him heavier than his coat, because he had missed another school smile, another small victory. When the final warning came from his employer about missed hours, he knew the truth he had been avoiding. He could keep the job and lose his child's childhood, or he could choose his child and lose the job. He chose his child, and in that choice felt both proud and terrified. The days that followed were brutally quiet. He sold small things he loved without telling anyone, skipped meals without admitting hunger, and smiled too brightly for his daughter so she would not sense the cracks forming beneath his calm. At night, when she slept curled against her stuffed bear, he sat in the dark scrolling job listings he could not accept because none of them bent around a child's needs. Hope became something fragile, something he was afraid to touch too hard. On the seventh day after he quit, when the sky had turned the color of steel and rain began again, there was a knock at his door that felt out of place in his shrinking world. He opened it to find a woman standing there, rain-soaked yet composed, holding a simple paper bag in her hands. Her presence carried a quiet authority, not loud or demanding, but steady, like someone used to making decisions that changed lives. She was the CEO of the company he had just walked away from, a name he knew only from internal emails and distant corporate announcements, now standing on his porch as if she belonged there. She had not come in anger or judgment. She had come because she had read his resignation carefully, not skimming past it like the others might have. Between the lines of professionalism, she had seen exhaustion, devotion, and a kind of integrity that spreadsheets could not measure. Standing in the rain, she saw the truth of his life reflected in the modest home behind him, in the small shoes by the door, in the way he instinctively shielded the warmth inside from the cold outside. She stepped in, not as an executive but as a human being who remembered her own years of choosing between ambition and family, of sleeping in offices and missing birthdays, of wishing someone had noticed before the cost became too high. She placed the paper bag on the table, simple groceries inside, an unspoken understanding that pride sometimes needs gentleness to survive. What followed did not feel like a rescue but like recognition. She acknowledged his courage in choosing his child over convenience, and in that acknowledgement something inside him loosened. She spoke of building workplaces meant for real people, not perfect ones, of flexibility not as charity but as wisdom. She offered him a chance not to return to the same role, but to shape a new one, remote when needed, honest about limits, and 3 to 4 grounded in trust rather than fear. It was not a miracle that erased struggle, but it was an open door in a hallway he thought had ended. As the rain softened outside, so did the weight in his chest. For the first time since quitting, he allowed himself to imagine mornings without panic and evenings without regret. He imagined being present without being punished for it, and working without sacrificing the small hands that depended on him. The CEO did not promise ease, but she promised dignity, and sometimes dignity is the difference between surviving and living. After she left, the house felt warmer, though the heater had not changed. His daughter padded into the kitchen, sleepy-eyed, and he lifted her easily, breathing in the scent of shampoo and comfort. In that moment, he understood that being seen had power. Not as a number, not as a problem, but as a parent trying his best. Life did not suddenly become perfect. There were still bills, still tired mornings, still moments of doubt. But there was also space to breathe, to attend school events, to cook dinner without rushing, to work with purpose instead of fear. The CEO checked in occasionally, not to monitor but to encourage, and the company slowly changed around that single decision, policies shifting, empathy spreading quietly. Years later, when his daughter no longer needed mittens but opinions, he would remember that rainy evening as the night everything turned. Not because someone saved him, but because someone believed him. Because one person in power chose compassion over convenience, and in doing so reminded him of his own worth. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of a moment when kindness arrived just in time, please like this video, share it with someone who might need hope today, and let us know how it made you feel. Your engagement helps stories like this reach hearts that are still waiting. Before this story ends, we have one special request for you. Please comment below, and tell us whether you believe a single act of empathy can change a life.